From Daily Trust News Center, this is the News Hour.
Tonight on News Hour, Northern governors, traditional rulers support state police to address ravaging insecurity. Appeal court reserves judgment in Nnamdi Kanu's application. Gas explosion in Jigawa leaves several people injured. And on the foreign scene, Kenya's President William Ruto sworn in, dozens injured in stadium rush. Hello and welcome to News Hour. I'm Dashan Hussaina Usman. And we begin with talks on security as 19 northern state governors and northern traditional rulers have voiced support for the establishment of state police as part of measures to tackle banditry, insurgency, kidnapping and other forms of insecurity in the region. The meeting between the governors and traditional rulers in Abuja reviewed the state of insecurity in the north and other matters relating to progress and the development of the region. A communique read by the chairman, Northern Governors Forum and Plateau State Governor Simon Lalong, said the meeting resolved to support amendment of the Constitution to accommodate the establishment of state police. According to him, this will effectively and efficiently address the security challenges of the region. Retired Assistant Inspector General of Police Wilson Inalegu has earlier shared his perspective on the issue.
This debate has been long. I think since independence, there were situations that led to the collapse of the regional police forces across Nigeria. Of course, the history is clear. I think the regime of General Aguiyi-Ironsi and Yakubu Gowon. Aguiyi-Ironsi set up the Gobi Commission to look at the allegations of the excesses of the regional police at the time. And then in 1968, precisely February, they reached a conclusion that those police forces will collapse. That's why we have one police force in the country. That's one. Now, we are approaching an election, and the fear, and I think those fears are founded, that these regional police forces could be used to oppress and even suppress votes of opponents. So I'm kind of curious that this position is coming in at such a critical time, because we are managing our unity in diversity. And when you look at it, if you look at the history right from beginning, right from time in this country, that the misuse of the police will be made more, become worse if you regionalize it or make them state. Two, what structure do we have for the Nigerian police force? Because you've got to get the federal police force on a solid foundation. Then you can begin to have the state police forces. Because are they going to begin to build training institutions? These training institutions are there. They are in complete state of dilapidation, that you can't get very meaningful training. So something should come out of something. So when you have a ground that has no fertilizer, when you plant on it, you are not going to produce anything. So I think they should go back to the amended Police Act, which made provision for special constabulary.
Court of Appeal Abuja has reserved judgment on an appeal filed by the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, seeking to quash the terrorism and treasonable felony charge the federal government preferred against him. The IPOB leader, who is currently facing trial before the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja, had approached the Court of Appeal to query the legal competence of the charge pending against him. The report.
Arguing the appeal claim before a three-man panel led by Justice Hannatu Jummais Hanke, Ozokemo alleged that his client was forcefully abducted from Kenya and illegally renditioned back to the country.
But instead of the lower court striking out the entire 15-count charge and allowing Nnamdi Kanu to go home a free man after the long walk, like Nelson Mandela, long walk to freedom. The lower court retained 7 of the counts. And we are here to say, intermediate court, court of appeal, strike out these remaining 7 counts. Because the lower court never calmly looked at the documentary evidence we placed before it. The respondent, the federal government, the DSS, they never responded to the critical issues we raised.
Meanwhile, David Caswell, counsel to the federal government, declined interview with journalists, but he urged the court to dismiss the appeal for want of merit. He asserted that the IPOB leader was brought back to the country by due process. After listening to both sides, the panel said it would communicate a date for judgment. The case, however, ended with a drama from the IPOB's leader's supporters outside the court. Martia Umar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Workers, marketers and transporters, as well as residents of Awka and other communities of Anambra State on Tuesday, complied with the sit-at-home directive by the indigenous people of Biafra. To this end, all markets, banks, government offices, schools, motor parks and filling stations are under lock and key. The report.
A walk along major streets in the state also revealed that markets were locked except for roadside hawkers and petty businesswomen operating along the road. Also, all the shops and business premises along the Amawbia State Command Headquarters road to the popular Zix Avenue and Nkwameini Market were deserted as people did not open for businesses. Commercial bus operators plying various routes within and outside Awka town, the commercial town of Onitsha, and Nnewi were off the routes while the various motor parks were empty. There was, however, skeletal businesses by shop owners few kilometers away from the markets. Tricycle operators and few shuttle bus drivers had a field day as they plied some routes to convey people to their various destinations. Some residents expressed divergent views on the order.
If you cannot obey your local laws, if you cannot obey international laws, then everybody has cause to worry whether you're actually a country of laws. Even investors, investors both within and from outside the countries, will also be worried investing their funds in your country.
The UN have given instruction, a specific instruction that Nnamdi Kanu should be released unconditional.
They hoped that the federal government and the group would find a common ground and settle all issues to ensure normalcy in the state.
A federal high court in Abuja on Tuesday granted a prayer by the Department of State Services to detain the former terrorist negotiator Tukur Mamu for 60 more days. Justice Nkeonye Maha, in a short ruling on ex parte motion moved by counsel for the DSS, Ahmed Magaji, granted the motion as prayed. The security outfit in the motion filed on September 12 had urged the court to grant its reliefs to enable it to conclude its investigation on Mamu, who had been leading the negotiation with the terrorists for the release of the Abuja-Kaduna train passengers kidnapped in March. Mamu was on September 6 arrested in Cairo, Egypt, with his family members by foreign security agents. Mamu, who was on his way to Saudi Arabia for Lesser Hajj, was detained at Cairo International Airport before being repatriated back to Nigeria. The Anambra State Police Public Relations Officer Ikenga Tochukwu says 2 officers were shot dead while 2 others are currently taking treatment as a result of the attack on the senator representing Anambra South Senatorial District, Ifeanyi Ubah. Briefing newsmen on the deadly attack, Tochukwu also said 3 civilians also lost their lives during the incident. The police spokesperson reassured that all security agencies are now on full alert to fish out the perpetrators of the attack in the state. Meanwhile, some residents of Awka condemned in strong terms the attack and called for improved security in the state.
The unfortunate thing there is that we lost 2 of our personnel, and 2 are wounded and currently receiving treatment, and they are actually positively responding to their treatment. We also lost 3 civilian casualties, but on the receipt of the information, the Commissioner of Police to tell you that here in Anambra, all hands are on deck to make sure that the situation, the peace that we are enjoying is enhanced. The Commissioner of Police personally led patrol to the scene, and we were able to recover the rifles of these slain personnel.
Looking at the way those things are going, I would think, with the greatest respect to the operators of the security system, that those attacks appear to be politically motivated. And if you look at these 2 attacks, it will appear that they were properly coordinated, properly premeditated, and properly executed.
It's important that if you are supposed to secure an environment, you have to have the arms, the ammunition, the wherewithal to be able to withstand whoever is coming to attack you there.
Confusion has trailed the report of the alleged demand of 200 million naira ransom by kidnappers of the traditional ruler of Isiala Umudi Autonomous Community in Nkwere local government area of Imo State, Joel Udenkwo. Reports say there are issues surrounding the demand for ransom, as the family members are yet to issue any official statement on the matter. While a source had earlier claimed it was 200 million naira, another source close to the family was of the view that as of last Monday, the abductors were demanding 50 million naira. At the time of filing this report, the State Police Public Relations Officer, Michael Abatam, said the investigation had commenced. Still on security, troops of Operation Forest Sanity have neutralized several bandits and dislodged camps during clearance operations conducted across some hard-to-reach locations spanning Chikung and Igabi local government areas. In an operational feedback, the troops said they neutralized an unspecified number of bandits while clearing out insurgents and bandit camps at Apeoe in Chikung local government area. Recovered from the bandits were 3 locally made rifles, 1 AK-47 magazine, 1 AK-47 top cover, 4 radio chargers, and 11 mobile phones, among others. The governor of Kaduna State, Malam Nasser El-Rufai, in a statement from the Commissioner for Internal Security and Home Affairs, Samuel Aruan, thanked the troops for the rescue of the 10 citizens. The governor commended the troops for the relentless spirit displayed in the ongoing operations and encouraged them to sustain these efforts to ultimate victory. President Muhammadu Buhari on Tuesday arrived Imo State to inaugurate some projects executed by Governor Hope Uzodinma. Buhari is expected to inaugurate the Owerri-Olu Road and other projects. He is also expected to visit stakeholders at the State House. This is amid the sit-at-home order purportedly declared by the indigenous people of Biafra in the region, as the leader of the group, Nnamdi Kanu, appeared in court on Tuesday in Abuja.
Vital infrastructure, the governance and the rest of the country. This can be seen in our commitment to certain critical projects such as the seaport, new airport terminals and buildings, various railway projects, a network of gas and power infrastructure, roads and bridges, including the second Niger Bridge, telecommunications, infrastructure, mentioned but a few.
These 3 projects are part of the signature projects which are currently receiving the attention of my administration. It is noteworthy, however, to mention that there are several other road and infrastructure projects which my administration is undertaking. While some of these have been completed, Many more are still under construction or awaiting inauguration.
Plateau State Police Command has vowed to arrest the killers of the 14-year-old Mariam Salisu, who was murdered on Tuesday in the outskirts of Babale village, Jos North local government area of the state. The State Police Commissioner, Bartholomew Onyeka, represented by the Divisional Police Officer of Nasarawa Gwang Division, Musa Hassan, said this when he visited the residence of the deceased. Trust TV had reported that the deceased was killed with some of her vital organs removed during the incident. Ado Musa completes the report.
This is the hill where Mariam Salisu and 12 other girls went to fetch firewood for their parents. Mariam couldn't return alive after she was attacked by a man suspected to be a ritualist who killed and dumped her corpse in a trench. When the corpse of Mariam was discovered in a trench with her vital organs removed, the entire village of Babale was thrown into confusion, with many saying the incident was the first the community is experiencing in more than 50 years. The divisional police officer in the area, while condoling with Mariam's family, vowed that the police will do everything possible to arrest the perpetrator and bring him to book.
This morning we are here for two things. We are here to see the Sarki and how to strategize to make sure those perpetrators are arrested and brought to book. And also to assure the family that we are doing everything that within our reach to ensuring that those that commit that act are arrested and brought to book. And we are calling for the entire community to give us this information that will lead us to the arrest of those suspects.
Mariam's family say they will be grateful if the culprit is arrested and pray Allah to give the police the wisdom to get him apprehended.
Alhamdulillah, na gode wa Allah suka zo su taimaka mu cikin wannan hali da muke ciki. Allah Ubangiji ya taimaka musu. Allah ya taimake su kokarin da suka yi.
Responding on behalf of the community, the acting district head, Aminu Mai Samari, also appreciated the police for their commitment towards arresting the culprit.
I also appreciate the Commissioner of Police, the DPO Nasarawa Gwang, the area command, and other vigilante and neighborhood watch that contributed to this matter. I want to appreciate them. I want to also send my condolences to them for missing this daughter. Unfortunate happenings that happens in the high hill there. We took this hill as a place of blessing because we get food there, we get things to do. If we bring the firewood, we use it for cooking, we sell it, we buy food.
The DPO, however, cautions the residents of the area to desist from sending teenagers to the bush or farm for any reason, especially now that elections are around the corner. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
The Commissioner of Police in Zamfara State, Kolo Yusuf, has reiterated the commitment and determination of the police to rid the state of criminal activities and restore lasting peace and security across the state. A statement by the command's public relations officer, Muhammad Shehu, said the commissioner gave the assurance when he visited the state's commissioner for internal security and home affairs, DIG Ibrahim Muhammad Afi, retired, in his office in Gusau. CP Yusuf commended the existing synergy between the command and the Zamfara State Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs, noting that such encouragement will go a long way in boosting the morale of officers and men of the command. In a similar development, the CP also visited the State's Comptroller General, Nigeria Immigration Service, Ibrahim Adamu Balarabe, where both officers promised to improve the existing collaboration between the two agencies for improved security in the state. Management of the National Assembly is preparing personnel on the rudiments of handling legislative functions on the floor of the House of Representatives ahead of the emergence of the 10th Assembly in 2023. The three-day capacity building holding in Abuja targets assistant directors among other key personnel responsible for legislative business, floor management and motions preparations for enhanced service delivery. Trust TV's Shafiu Suleiman reports.
Yahya Danzaria is the clerk of the National Assembly, and he provides insight on the 3-day capacity building, which he says is routine exercise to prepare the relevant personnel on the task.
This is a routine training. It's usually done every time you are approaching another assembly. The 9th assembly will wind up by June next year. So usually we prepare staff because there are so many promotions from different cadres of staff. So this is the right time to do it before next year. By next year, what we will be doing is to prepare the staff for an ad hoc committee that will take care of the inauguration of the 10th assembly. So we want to make sure that they are fully ready to receive new members and new senators.
Participants are expected to be taken through intense technical sessions as the training lasts. They speak on their expectations.
It has to do with fundamentals of legislative drafting. You have a process of how bills are passed and all of that, how motions are presented in the National Assembly. So we expect that our staff, with the participants, we will gain a lot from it.
Knowledge is in level, and if you are not informed, you'll be deformed. So with quality information, be able to take quality decision, which will lead to quality action and a quality outcome. Okay. So my expectation in this program is for me to be empowered for effective and efficient legislative process, legislative services, to be able to deliver and have an efficient service delivery to the National Assembly.
Handling of legislative functions, which covers motion preparation, oversight functions, and executive sessions, amongst others, requires specialization by personnel saddled with such responsibility. The management of the National Assembly says bringing them up to date with the best practices is critical for effective service delivery. Shapio Suleiman, Trust TV News, Abuja.
With only a few months to the 2023 general elections and with political activities gathering momentum around the country, the Labour Party says it is enlarging its base with new structures and strategies to enable it to emerge victorious at the presidential election. This was part of the deliberations of the party's national retreat. Trust TV's Aisha Salihu reports.
On day 2 of the national retreat of the Labour Party, the party sets up a committee to produce a working document that will include a social contract with Nigerians and also lead discussions on solutions to issues ahead of the 2023 elections.
They are expected to look at the Labour Charter of Demands, look at the manifesto of the party, interface with the candidates, and then come up with a working document which we are going to look and adopt, and it will form the basis of the campaign.
Representative of Labour and trade unions pledged to synergize with the party at the grassroots in the area of enlightenment campaigns and called for the jettisoning of ethnicity, religion, while working together for the common good of the country.
Most Nigerians. So we must be able to unveil that ignorance from the downtrodden Nigerians. We must be able to let them understand that it is not about where anybody is from.
Other stakeholders called on the party to ensure women and youth participation and delivering the right message of a shift from the ultra-conservative economic culture that has been in practice if national rebirth must be the new order.
The Labour Party must begin to mobilize Nigerians to align their democratic choices across all levels, away from their ethnicities and religion, to their individual legitimate economic, security and environmental interests, so that we can have a critical mass of a new order that will usher in good governance post-2023.
The presidential candidate of the party, while asking to work with the Labour Charter, however, asked party members and Nigerians to demand accountability from him when he emerges at the polls.
Your effort, your sacrifice will not be in vain.
Labour Party, one of the leading opposition parties, is promising to harness industrial revolution in a bid to provide solutions to the many and long-standing challenges Nigerians face. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Still in politics, presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, has asked Nigerians not to allow political slogans to take the place of policy and development blueprints as 2023 elections draws nearer. Atiku said this while presenting his economic blueprint for Nigeria at the Private Sector Economic Forum on the 2023 presidential election organized by the Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry. While reeling out his plans, Atiku lamented that Nigeria's economy is crawling rather than growing, accusing the APC-led government of consistently running on budget deficits since coming to power in 2015.
We will support the private sector to drive growth. We will and we shall. We will establish strong partnership in investing in infrastructure, in creating jobs and income, and in fight against poverty. We will listen to the private sector more. Understanding the private sector and securing their buy-in when policies are designed will determine the success of our economic growth and development agenda. Through regular dialogue with the private sector, we will build consensus, improve trust between us, and make new reform initiatives easier to implement and sustainable.
As several aspirants that contested the last primary elections for different offices under the platform of the ruling All Progressives Congress took the party to court challenging the outcome of the elections, the party in the North Central has resolved to ensure that issues emanated from the party are resolved internally. North Central Zonal Vice Chairman of the party, Maazu Rijau, stated this shortly after a closed-door meeting of the party stakeholders in Lafia, Nasarawa State. The APC vice chairman said the party is interfacing with aggrieved party members to find solutions to their grievances to enable the party participate in the 2023 general elections free of crisis among members. Nasarawa State APC chairman John Mummang, on his part, said the APC family will ensure that members are not in any form of acrimony before the general elections next year.
We are going to do something about it. In fact, we are all party faithful. We are all APC men. So we want to resolve our issues internally. Our chairman, national chairman, has assured Nigerians and our party faithful that all our differences, inshallah, will be resolved before the election. You can see, you have heard from them. They have voiced out. They have told us what we are doing and where we need to improve upon.
The aim is to fix our house properly in order, preparatory to 2023 general elections, to unite our party, to ensure that we become more stronger than we are.
You're watching News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break, how Nigerians react to overseas travel trend. Do stay with us.
Trust TV, documenting the Nigerian story.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. If you're just joining us, you're watching News Hour on Trust Television. Let's take a look at some of our major stories. You heard that northern governors want state police. We also told you that appeal court reserves judgment in Nnamdi Kanu's application. Moving to more stories, and in crime, a pregnant woman, 2 minors and 8 other suspects have been arrested by operatives of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps in Ondo State for their alleged involvement in illegal oil bunkering. The state commandant of the Corps, Hamid Abodunrin, while parading the suspects in Akure, said they were arrested at Waterway in Ijuoshun, Irele Local Government Council area of the state, with products suspected to be adulterated diesel. According to him, the product was packed in drums, polythene bags and jerry cans and loaded in 4 wooden boats. Abodunrin, who said the suspects were unable to say where they got the consignment from or where they are conveying it to, warned criminals to stay away from the state, as the Corps was determined to track, arrest and prosecute them. Nigerian Immigration Service has intercepted a 13-year-old senior secondary school student in Kebbi State who was being trafficked to Libya by her mother to work as a domestic servant. The underage girl said she was transported in a bus from Ogun State and given the telephone number of a man who will take her to Libya. Hamza Galadi Mazuru has more on the report.
The 13-year-old and a JSS2 student was intercepted, according to the controller of customs, at a roadblock in Koko town by the men of the immigration service on her way to Libya. The immigration controller, Rabi Bashirnuhu, while speaking to journalists, explained that the girl, while being interrogated, said her grandmother, who is still in Ogun State, paid for her transportation and gave her a contact number of the person who will ensure her safe arrival in Libya before she boarded the vehicle that conveyed her to Sokoto from Ogun State.
The lady before us here is a 13-year-old girl that was involved in human trafficking. The lady with us here was intercepted at Koko border patrol base on the Friday 9th of September 2022. This lady was intercepted because she was traveling from Ogun to Sokoto without anybody accompanying her.
Also speaking to journalists, the 13-year-old JSS2 student confirmed to them that she was on her way to Libya, where she will be provided a job as a domestic servant.
How old are you?
13 years old.
Then where are you going now?
I'm going to Sokoto.
Where?
Sokoto.
To do what?
Then I'm going to stay at Sokoto. I'm going to call one number that the person is going to come and pick me.
Pick you?
Yeah.
To go to where?
I don't know. I just somewhere. The person is like a friend, street friend. Not my friend though. The person that told my grandmother. The person. And that we are going to go and do a maid.
What?
Maid.
According to the Kebbi State Command of the Immigration Service, the case has since been referred to NAFTIP for further investigation and eventual prosecution. Hamza Galadi Mazuru reporting for Trust TV News from Birnin Kebbi.
Former Deputy Senate President Ike Ekweremadu and his wife Beatrice on Tuesday prayed a federal high court Abuja to dismiss an application filed by the kidney donor David Ukpo, asking the court to set aside its orders made on July 1 and July 6. Ukpo, through his lawyer, Bamidele Benedion, had filed a motion on notice urging Justice Iyang Eko to set aside the orders directing some agencies of government and banks to release his biodata to Ekweremadu and his wife. Ukpo, who is currently in the United Kingdom in connection with the alleged organ harvesting charge against the Ekweremadus, had said that granting the couple's request violated his fundamental rights to privacy guaranteed by Section 37 of the 1999 Constitution as amended. But in a counter affidavit deposed by Bright Ekweremadu, the immediate younger brother to the ex-Deputy Senate President, the applicants said Ukpo was not entitled to the relief sought as the law did not permit such. Counsel to the respondents, including that of the Ekweremadus, Eitayo Falogun, SAN, did not oppose the request, and Justice Ekwe adjourned the matter until September 20th for hearing at the instance of Ukpo's lawyer. Police Service Commission workers staged another round of protests at Federal Secretariat in Abuja on Tuesday. The protesters explained that the management of the commission had refused to attend to their demands since they commenced the strike. Some of the grievances of the protesters include takeover of the recruitment of 10,000 constables by police, lack of staff promotion, training and mismanagement of funds meant for permanent office of the commission. Chairman of the Joint Union Congress at the Commission, Adoyi Adoyi, said they would continue to protest until their demands are met.
Commissions are enlightening people. We don't want to do it in their ignorant level. So we must fight until we get the victory. I want to sincerely appreciate your doggedness. You are resilient. For the past 2 weeks and the office has been standstill because of this possession. Let's keep it up. We will never give up. We are sure of the victory. Anyhow it reach. By the time we engage NSC, it will be a bigger fight. I want to assure you that by the grace of God, since you have an instrument in your hands, what is the instrument? The verdict from the court. You are not by accident as an organization. You are a child of a constitution. You are not a child of an act. So I want to assure you that that's...
On a sad note, a gas cylinder explosion has left many injured, while several houses and shops were destroyed in Barbara local government area of Jigawa State. It was gathered that the incident occurred Monday night when customs officers on border patrol allegedly shot at a tanker and it caught fire. The public relations officer of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps Jigawa Command, Adamu Shehu, confirmed the incident in a statement on Tuesday morning. He disclosed that many houses and shops were burnt following the incident, adding that scores were injured but no death was recorded yet. Head of Operations Office of the National Emergency Management Agency in Minna, Niger State, Hajia Zainab Saidu, has raised an alarm over the death of 9 persons in the flood disaster that occurred recently in 3 local government areas of Niger State. According to NEMA, 6 persons died in Magama, 2 others in Kontagora, and 1 person in Rafi local government areas of the state. Hajia Saidu, whose NEMA operations office in Minna also covers Kwara State, confirms the incident at the weekend. She stated that about 501 households built on the floodplains were displaced in the 7 communities of Kontagora local government area. The NEMA official said several houses whose costs were yet to be ascertained were also destroyed in the process, as properties like clothes, electronics, floor carpets, cooking utensils, ceiling and standing fans, among others, were damaged. No fewer than 3 people have been confirmed missing, while several others were rescued when a boat that capsized in River Benue across Ibi local government area of Taraba State. The caretaker committee chairman of the local government, Bala Bako, confirmed the incident on Tuesday. According to him, the capsized boat was loaded with passengers from Ibi to Sarkinkudu Market when the incident occurred. He explained that the incident happened while taking off from the coast, adding that the boat engine went off and in the process of restarting, hit a building at the bank area and broke into pieces. Moving on to health, the number of confirmed cases of monkeypox in the country has increased to 277, according to the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. This is even as the suspected cases stand at 704 from January 1 to August 28, 2022. The report also showed that 6 deaths had been recorded so far in 6 states in the country. Traveling is part of human existence. Reasons for it can range from the need for better work, family, medical treatment, social or other economic needs. People who love to travel enjoy relaxation, new cultures, foreign food, and incredible landscapes that are different from their normal surroundings. In this report, Noel Sampson looks at the reasons for the cravings of Nigerians to travel abroad, the challenges they face getting visas, and views of experts concerning the issue.
Many Nigerians to relocate to more advanced countries where life is assumed to be more easier has been on the rise in recent times. This many believe is due to high level of unemployment in the country, low standards of living, insecurity, and other factors that militate against a productive life. Promising as it may appear, on the other side, in reality, it is not an easy ride.
There are so many reasons why Nigerians travel abroad these few days, based on lack of jobs in our country, insecurity, make serious contribution about that. So most of the young men now, after university graduation for so long, they are at home, no jobs to do. So they fear going to America and other countries. It's a better opportunity for them.
Of the government of the day, they have messed the whole thing up. That is the reason why some other country that we are better than can't even give us visa. Even if we are going out there for maybe a program, do you understand, or a business trip, you get an embarrassment. Even from our Nigeria airports here, the Nigerian government don't have a good relationship with other countries. Do you understand? And Nigeria government have given us bad image out there.
The reasons for the difficulties in getting these visas to other countries were also highlighted by experts.
You give permission to somebody, an outsider, to visit your country. So you have to know why he is there. Some of them they take for tourism, some for studies, some for visit to family members, some go on conferences, on meetings, and what have you. And there are those who go for terrorism, like creating confusion or banditry, whatever. So it is very, very important for each country to ensure that they know why foreigners are going into their country. As you can see, countries are really coping with situations, their own domestic situations of violence and criminality and so on. So what more if they open the doors for other foreigners to come? That is adding too much problem to themselves.
Experts say if nothing urgently is done to reverse the trend, the nation will be hit by a drought of qualified manpower in all sectors of life, as those with these skills will always find a way of leaving the country for greener pastures. Noel Sampson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Residents of Badaria New Layout in Birnin Kebbi have cried out to the state government over the deplorable condition of the only access road leading to the area, which is fast expanding. Residents speak to Hamza Galadi Mazuru on their plight. The report.
The Badaria New Layout is a developing area at the outskirts of Birnin Kebbi, the Kebbi state capital, which is gradually playing host to hundreds of new houses, mostly owned by the middle and upper income earners, majority of whom are civil servants, businessmen and retired workers who have built their homes to at least get a roof over their heads. But the people of the area are presently facing a major problem with the deplorable state of the road, the only road that leads into the expanding area. Some of the residents, in an interview with Trust TV, decried the deplorable state of the road, saying, anytime it rains, motorists find it difficult to go into the area, which is located just a few meters from the center of the state capital, Birnin Kebbi. According to the residents, commercial motorcyclists, who are the only means of transportation into the area, are now threatening to stop plying the route due to its bad state, and hence the residents appeal to the Kebbi state government to come to their aid by providing a befitting road network leading into the area. doing which they said would ease some of their difficulties.
The road is in a very bad condition that needs urgent government attention. We are appealing on government to come to our aid and make the road roadworthy. We are pleading on the government to repair this road because it has become a yearly occurrence, especially during the rainy season. We have written officially to the Commissioner of Works to come to the aid of our people. We are in support of the government to repair the road. It is very important, even to our economic activities.
Hamza Galadima Zulu, Trust TV News from Birnin Kebbi.
You're still watching News Hour on Trust TV. We'll be right back.
As the 2023 elections draw near, remember, evil prospers when good men and women only wish for peace, but never take a step to make peaceful elections happen. Are you a father? Are you a mother? What are you saying to your children as elections approach? Have you warned them not to let themselves be used to cause violence? Have you explained to them what the consequences of electoral violence might be? Do your part to make peaceful elections happen. Talk to your children. Protect them from unscrupulous politicians who want to put them in harm's way, while their own children are comfortable at home, within and outside the country. Let's join hands to make 2023 elections peaceful. This message is from the National Orientation Agency, NOAA.
That's great.
Welcome back. And with this, we move on to the international scene. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo represented President Muhammadu Buhari at the swearing-in of William Ruto as the 5th president of independent Kenya at a ceremony in the capital, Nairobi, on Tuesday. Ruto, the former deputy president, was handed a copy of Kenya's constitution and a sword to represent the transfer of power from President Uhuru Kenyatta. He described his emergence as president as a testimony because the village boy has become the president of Kenya, referring to the fact that he grew up in rural Kenya. Defeated candidate Raila Odinga did not attend, but the new president had conciliatory words for his opponents, promising to work with all Kenyans irrespective of who they voted for. Vice President Osinbajo described Ruto's inauguration as a celebration of democracy and democratic institutions in Africa because the structures in Kenya held up and ensured that the processes were properly followed and justice was done. With his inauguration, Ruto becomes the second ethnic Kalenjin after the late Daniel Arap Moi to hold the office.
I will obey, preserve, protect,
and defend this Constitution
and defend this Constitution
of Kenya
of Kenya
as by law established,
and all other laws of the Republic.
The swearing in is, as has been said, a celebration of democracy, and the reasons are obvious. We found a situation where, the elections themselves, the campaigns were quite fractious. There was quite, there was quite a bit of hostility here and there, but the institutions held up. The IEBC, the equivalent of our own INEC, and the judiciary, they held up and ensured that not only were processes properly followed, but also that justice was done.
Still away from Nigeria, King Charles III has arrived in Northern Ireland, leading the mourning for Queen Elizabeth II in the four parts of the United Kingdom before his mother's coffin is flown to London in advance of 4 days of lying in state. Charles and Camilla, Queen Consort, were welcomed at the airport on Tuesday by the Lord Lieutenant of Belfast, Dame Finola Mary J. O'Boyle, and Northern Ireland Secretary Chris Heaton Harris. People lined the streets at Hillsborough Castle, the monarch's official residence in Northern Ireland. Charles drove along crowd-lined streets in Hillsborough and then left his car to shake hands with well-wishers to chants of "God Save the King." In sports, Anthony Joshua has accepted WBC champion Tyson Fury's terms for an all-British heavyweight fight on 3rd December and is waiting a response, his management company has said. Joshua, 32, was sent an offer by Tim Fury suggesting a 60-40 purse split to the champion and a December fight date. The fight was agreed on Friday, but the announcement was delayed because of the death of the Queen last Thursday. Initial terms have been agreed, but Joshua is yet to sign a contract. In a statement posted on Twitter and shared by Joshua, 258 management said it and Matchroom Boxing can confirm on behalf of Anthony Joshua that they have accepted all terms presented to them by Fury's team for a fight. Let's join Adeni Ajishafe for more on sports.
Ex-international athlete Falilat Ogunkoya has advised Nigerians to be positive about the outcome of Grace Nwokocha's B sample, which determines whether or not the provisional suspension will be lifted. Ogunkoya encouraged Grace Nwokocha to stand up and be ready to defend herself in the ongoing investigation into her doping case. The athlete was part of the quartet that won women 4x100 meter relay gold at Birmingham Commonwealth Games. Nwokocha was provisionally suspended by the Athletics Integrity Unit AIU after she was found with the usage of banned substances, Ostrarine and Lindadrol, in her sample. Meanwhile, Nwokocha and Athletics Federation of Nigeria, AFN, have requested for the B sample result. Ogunkoya says since athletes are responsible for whatever goes into their system, they should be cautious of what they allow into them and urge both the athlete, Nigeria, to accept the outcome of the investigation in the spirit of sportsmanship. And in football, Real Sociedad striker Sadiq Umar has been diagnosed with a rupture of anterior cruciate ligament on his knee, an injury Umar sustained in the first half of the match between Real Sociedad and Getafe in Spanish La Liga on Sunday. The striker will undergo surgical operation, ruling him out for the rest of the season while recovering fully between 7 to 9 months. The former UD Almeria striker recently joined Real Sociedad for a club record of 20 million euros, upfront plus 5 million euros in bonuses to replace Alexander Isak, who moved to Newcastle United. That's Sport News. I am Adeni Ajishafe.
And that's it on News Hour. Don't forget to follow us across all our social media platforms. I'm Dashin Husseina Usman. Thanks for watching.